Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video I just wanted to have a little bit of a discussion really. It's all to do with Olympus's newly announced lens, which is going to be released in January, the 150 to 400mm f4.5 lens, which, if I'm going to be honest, looks like my dream lens, or to be honest with you, any wildlife photographer's dream lens. So this morning I was scrolling through YouTube and there were a few videos from all sorts of different photographers, mostly wildlife photographers, who have actually had hands-on experience with the new lens, and I was watching it and I was sort of thinking, okay, so which camera then would be better now that they've brought out this new lens, and also they've announced some new firmware upgrades for both the EM1-X and the EM1X. Which camera would be better if you're a wildlife photographer, or if you're thinking of coming over to the Olympus brand and you're a wildlife photographer? So I thought I'd just come out here and give my thoughts to you guys, and maybe you can all comment down below, and yeah, we can just have a discussion. So before we go any further, I'll just tell you that I am currently filming on the Olympus EM1-X, and I'll show you that now quickly. I'll just get my GoPro. Oh, yeah, so there it is, the Olympus EM1-X. Where is it? There it is. You can see just there, EM1-X. And yeah, it is a great camera. Now, as many of you know, I have had a debate as to whether or not I should sell my Canon 7D Mark II and get the EM1X in replacement for all of my wildlife photography. If you haven't seen that video, you can go check it out. I'll put the link here. Yeah, I had the Pro loan, so I had the EM1X for about 2 weeks, and my experience with that camera was great. I absolutely loved it. In the end, I decided to go for the EM1-X for reasons which I have already talked about in that video. Oh, okay, there's a little bug just flew on the lens there. But yeah, I absolutely love the EM1-X, and I'm really happy I went for this camera in the end over the EM1X. I'm still debating in my head now whether or not I jumped in a bit too soon, but I don't think so. I'm still really happy with the fact that I've gone for the smaller, lighter weight camera, and I can just bring spare batteries in my bag with me. That's the whole reason. Oh, okay, there's a buzzard up there. But yeah, that's the whole reason why I sort of went to the Micro Four Thirds system. So I'm still happy with my choice, and you know, when I did go to the Lake District, I got some absolutely amazing images of the stars in the sky. It's got that Starry AF, which, you know, I've never done any star photography before. I didn't even have any practice. I just whacked it on Starry AF mode, set the camera up outside my tent, got back in my tent, put some lights around it, sat there for about half an hour, 15 minutes, and managed to get this image, which, you know, incredible. Not only that, the waterfalls in the Lake District, I was going around without a tripod, taking photographs, you know, of the waterfalls, and I was getting that slow motion, like, movement. I'm not really a landscape photographer, but you know, when you set up your camera on your tripod and you put a real slow shutter and you get that awesome effect on the water, it just looks really, really nice. And yeah, I managed to get that handheld. You don't need a tripod for any of that kind of stuff, you know. And these are all reasons why I decided to go for the EM1-X, and I am still happy with my decision. But yes, shortly after I purchased the EM1-X and had given back the Pro loan of the EM1X, Olympus announced a post which I saw on Instagram, basically showing this 150 to 400mm lens. But not only did they announce this lens, which I thought was going to be awesome and great for this camera, they also announced that they're going to be releasing this firmware update. And I was reading through it, and I was like, oh, Bird AF. It's going to have Bird AF, bird tracking, which I thought absolutely incredible, awesome. Read a little bit further, and unfortunately, it's only going to be on the EM1X and not on the EM1 Mark III. So, yes, I commented on there, like, will this be eventually released on the EM1 Mark III? No reply. I don't think it will. I honestly don't, because before they had this bird tracking thing on the EM1X, they already had trains, planes and cars, I believe, and they did say previously that they were going to be improving it, and this is something that the EM1 Mark III never had, and that was one of the differences between the two. But at the time, I really didn't think I needed tracking for those objects. Unfortunately, they didn't have the bird tracking at the time. I would have loved to have been able to try that, and yeah, so it's quite frustrating, but at the same time, I know I can already get shots of birds in flight with, I've been using my Canon 7D Mark II still, because I haven't been able to afford to get a new telephoto lens with the EM1 Mark III. I kept my 7D Mark II, and I've been using this camera for vlogging currently, with the aim in the future to eventually get maybe the 300 F4, or maybe even now I'll get the 150-400mm F4.5, depending on what happens. But if some of you have probably already seen that I've done the Kingfisher video where I managed to get absolutely incredible images. I couldn't believe it myself, of the Kingfisher in flight, and also with it actually catching fish with the Canon 7D Mark II. And that camera is very old now. The 7D Mark II is a very old camera with the 100-400, and I can already get shots of birds in flight with the 7D Mark II without tracking. So I actually don't think I need it. That being said, the size of the 150-400mm lens on the EM1 Mark III could be a little bit too... it's the largest lens that Olympus has ever released, and I just feel like it might be a bit top heavy with the lens on the end of this camera because the body is so small. So I wouldn't really want to purchase it without actually trying the lens for myself. So yeah, it would be great if Olympus could send me that lens to try on the EM1 Mark III. Maybe I could get back down to the Kingfisher hide, or down to one of the Birds of Prey's hide, and try out birds in flight with the new lens and the EM1 Mark III, and then I can get a good feel of that combination. Because at the moment it feels like they've released that lens specifically for the EM1X and the bird tracking AF, which is awesome. And the larger size of the EM1X with that lens, I feel like that combination is like the perfect combination for a wildlife photographer. But most of us can't afford that system. Eventually I would like to transition completely over from Canon to Olympus and get a telephoto lens for my EM1 Mark III, and maybe just use the GoPro for vlogging, because I feel like this is a bit of an overkill. All the leaves are falling down on me right now, but yeah, I feel like this camera is a bit of an overkill for vlogging. So I don't know, but basically, Olympus, if you're watching, can you please send me the new lens? I would love to try it. And honestly, all the reviews I've seen so far have been basically people stood in their office with their computers and getting all the stats up, and which is great and it's useful and whatnot, but I really want to get out there, get in the field and trial this lens with the EM1 Mark III, with the Kingfisher, Birds of Prey as I was saying, and yeah, just get a really good idea myself of how it feels, and then also I can show you guys how it feels. So yeah, I'm gonna try my best to get one of those lenses. I think it's going to be impossible, but I'm going to try my best. I've already looked at the on Olympus's website where they say you can borrow equipment. Unfortunately, because of restrictions at the moment, they're not doing it. But maybe when we come out of this new lockdown, maybe it'll be on there. I don't know. So yeah, I'm not making any promises, but I will try my very best to get hold of the 150-400mm lens and then trial it out with the Kingfisher, because I honestly think that would be incredible. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think that this new lens is revolutionary? Will you be selling your gear to get this lens? I don't know. Are you thinking of coming over to Olympus? Are you already with Olympus? You know, I went for the EM1 Mark III over the EM1X because I transitioned from a crop sensor camera to a mirrorless camera, micro four thirds, which I wanted it to be smaller, more compact and lightweight and bring with me, which is why I went for the EM1 Mark III. It had pretty much all of the features of the EM1X, but it was compact, lightweight, which is what I wanted from a micro four thirds system. And I wanted to get away from that heavy, big gear. You know, that's just what I wanted. So that's why I went for the EM1 Mark III. It's still got that weather sealed body. It's got all of, really the only feature it didn't have was the tracking. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think you need it. And I don't think I need it. It's a great selling feature, and it's probably going to get so many people to buy the EM1X now, because you know, they've done it on purpose. They've put that firmware into the EM1X so that it's the only camera that has it, and it's differentiating. I cannot say that word. Differentiating. Hang on a minute. Oh, there's no signal. It's separating the two cameras from one another. So that is really the distinguishing feature that separates the EM1 Mark III from the EM1X. Along with the body size and extra battery life. So yeah, I don't know, I think it's a really good talking point at the moment. Absolutely love the look of that new lens, the 150-400 F4.5, which has got an inbuilt teleconverter. Oh my god. And then if you put the 2x teleconverter on top of that, you can get a maximum of 2000mm full frame equivalent reach, which is insane. It is insane. It's an absolutely incredible lens, and I really, really want to try it. That was it. Just a quick one. Just wanted to get some of my thoughts and opinions out there to you guys. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see more videos like this, and you want to see potentially me using that lens in the future, hit that subscribe button. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.